Good morning, everybody, from Detroit, Michigan, and been very busy on the channels lately. The Rosie Murphy, the Rosie O'Kelly, not so much the Rosie McNamara. Reason being, there's not a lot of opportunities to be on the beach and pools when you're traveling and doing what I call the Great Lakes tour here. My time will come this summer, though, guaranteed, guys, and we'll be back to some beach fun and other fun, Rosie style. Anyway, my YouTube messages, the Gmail and everything has really been overflowing lately, and one of the principal questions that I get asked is traveling as a transgender. Of course, I consider myself third gender, a blend of both, and I live happily that way, and I have for years, and I've traveled without incident, and I wanted to kind of discuss that today because I've been everywhere from Vegas to Salt Lake to Omaha to Toronto, Michigan, Detroit, Battle Creek, Detroit, like I say, Toronto, Buffalo, Detroit. I mean, I've been a lot of places so far, and I have a lot of places still to go. And I'll tell you, it really has not been any kind of issue. I'm not saying I'm a beauty queen, but passability has never been an issue with me unless I engage somebody with my big mouth for a long period of time, and then they might kind of turn their head sideways and kind of wonder. But then, they kind of second guess. One key of traveling, and I was asked to give some tips after 31 days on the road. Some tips for making the journey smoother. Number one, when you're going to be in an environment, especially if you're early on in your transition, and you're not really super comfortable with issues of passability and things like that, it's perfectly normal. Your self-confidence level starts off at 0, and it builds as time goes by, and people play off that confidence. In other words, if people people are going to make a gender determination within a split second of seeing you, and then you can only move it off of that perception. And when you go in, I've seen a couple trans women on the road, particularly up in Toronto, that were very, excuse me, they were very over made up for the environment that they were going into. Like if they're going into a Planet Fitness or something like that, they're really, really dialed up, and it's really, I don't want to say it's almost drag queenish kind of look when they go in. It's so over the top that it automatically almost screams at. So the thing is to be as demure and dress for the circumstance. If you need to, put on a pair of sunglasses if you feel uncomfortable or something like that, but you want to have the minimum what I call friction when you're traveling, so that you're not the expression is clocked or made as transgender. So sometimes sometimes it can be very traumatic if you're. I've had a few people look at me sideways, especially when I'm speaking in restaurants. Otherwise, if I could seal my mouth shut forever, I would never have an issue with anything. But I've never worked on voice changing. But then again, in my travels, I notice a lot of voices that are all over the map. But the thing is to be very low key and don't overdress for the parts when you are going out. Okay. That's the biggest thing that I see. And also coming in with a very high degree of confidence. If you have your head down and you look like you're slinking around, you look like you're ready to rob a bank, that's an automatic tell that there's something unusual about you. It's things outside of the norm that get the attention. It's not if you go in there bubbly and happy and stand there, situations and encounters pass quickly. But if you want to have your head down and you're not making eye contact, then all of a sudden people excuse me, got a little bit of a cold, then all of a sudden people are on a natural, they become guarded because they don't know exactly what they're seeing there. So that is the key. Number two is to dress for the occasion. If you're going to go into a Planet Fitness, just dress for that. Don't go in with high heels and short skirts and low cut tops and things like that, it automatically is going to draw a lot of attention to you, which you may wish to have. But ultimately, it may backfire on you as you find people kind of pointing and whispering and talking behind your back. So that's the second thing, besides the makeup, is to make sure that you are dressed appropriately for your environment, okay? The watchword around most places like Detroit and Buffalo has been t-shirts and jeans and shorts. You go in with short skirts, high heels, and all that, and you are definitely going to be an object of attention. Number 3 is, as I kind of hinted at, be confident. Go in, make eye contact, keep your head high. That's what most people do when they're in that environment. You observe, you study, you watch what women do, or if you're a female to male, you watch what men do, and you keep your shoulders back, you don't swing your arms, you just move with a lot of confidence, like you kind of own the place, and therefore your tells are few. People just take a fleeting glance, they look at something, they're not thinking about it, but they're automatically, subconsciously making a choice, whether it's they're just trained to see the totality of a person and not even consider whether it's male or female, but it's the things outside of the norm, like the way you dress, the way you do your makeup, that can really be problematic. Go forth and be confident. It's a big country out there. It's a big world out there. Lots to see. Thanks for watching, everybody.